In this video, I would like to show off another rarely used weapon category, the neural weapons and psionic weapons from GURPS Ultratech. Unlike the previously discussed microwave weapons, these weapons can be lethal and are super science weapons. They produce a focused electrical or radio beam that affects the nervous system at a distance. This means that they do not work against homogeneous, diffuse or unliving targets, and those who do not have a brain. When used to affect extraterrestrial life, they may produce unexpected effects, and if an alien neural weapon is used against a human, the same happens. There are two subcategories: neural disruptors and mind reapers. There are also psionic mind disruptors that are similar to neural weapons. Neural disruptors, also known as nerve guns, appear at TL11. Just like the microwave weapons, nerve guns are ranged cone attacks and use the area and spreading attacks rules. And they also are contact agents that ignore any unsealed DR, but are absolutely powerless against sealed targets. GURPS Dungeon Fantasy Monsters 4, Dragons, introduces a new maneuver, All-Out Attack Cone, and it can be used with neural weapons. Nerve guns deliver an HT-based affliction attack that lasts for a margin of failure minutes. But there are different types of nerve guns. Agony guns cause agony and then moderate pain for an identical duration. Ecstasy guns cause ecstasy and then euphoria for an identical duration. Neural stun guns cause unconsciousness. Paralysis guns cause paralysis. Seizure guns cause seizure. Agony and ecstasy guns also have an additional effect. If the victim fails his resistance roll by 5 or more, he suffers a heart attack instead. At TL12, a new option becomes available, the death beam setting that causes a heart attack. Any given neural disruptor may have multiple settings that can be changed with a ready maneuver, and each additional setting adds 50% to the cost. At TL12, another super science category of weapons based on the neural disruptor emerges, the Mind Reapers. These guns are very expensive and have an even shorter range, but instead of disrupting the nervous system with electromagnetic radiation, they fry the brain and simultaneously record a copy of it. Thus, if the victim fails to resist, he falls into a coma, and the Mind Reaper creates a low-resolution mind emulation copy in its database. If the victim fails by 5 or more, he also gains total amnesia, and the mind emulation copy becomes a high-resolution one. If we check the weapons table, we will see that all these guns have very short range, but their effects are very powerful indeed, even though many of nerve guns are LC4 weapons. Here we can also see something wrong. Tactical Neural Disruptor and Long-Range Mind Reaper have rate of fire 10. They are ranged cone attacks, and those are incompatible with rapid fire, so it probably should have set rate of fire 1. There is no information on how these weapons work underwater, so they probably work normally in such conditions. I also mentioned another category of similar weapons, the Mind Disruptors. These are psychotronic devices that appear at TL12 and, obviously, should only exist in settings with psionics. Mind disruptors are not cone attacks, they affect a single target, and there are other differences too. First, they affect anything with a mind, but cannot affect anyone with IQ 0 or the digital mind advantage. Unlike neural disruptors, they deliver a will-based affliction that completely ignores DR, even sealed DR, but Mind Shield provides a bonus against them. The fact that they ignore DR is kind of nuts. It means that you can use a Mind Disruptor freely to attack through walls. Mind Disruptors have a different array of settings, but the mechanics of switching and the effect on the cost are the same. Hypnagogic beams, also known as erasers or dazers, cause the daze condition or unconsciousness if the victim fails to resist by 5 or more. In addition, it also disrupts short-term memory. The victim does not remember what happened to them during the second they were shot or the second before that, just like in Men in Black. Death beams telepathically compel the victim to die. He stops breathing or, if he fails by 5 or more, suffers a heart attack. Insanity beams cause hallucinations or, if the victim fails to resist by 5 or more, a nightmarish coma. Psionic neutralizers disable all psionic abilities of the victim. If we check the weapons table, we will see that this time rate of fire 10 is actually fine. Mind disruptors are not cone attacks, so it doesn't break anything. However, I believe that the tactical mind disruptor still was intended to have rate of fire 1, because the mind disruptors actually appear in another book that came out after Ultratech, GURPS Sci-Tech. If we look at the weapons table from GURPS Sci-Tech, we will see that the tactical mind disruptor does indeed have rate of fire 1, and that the mind disruptors do not even have to be TL12 weapons. They can work at any TL, even below Ultratech. This book has shots values listed for even high-tech batteries. Beam and Laser Design System article does not have rules for creating neural weapons or mind disruptors, but there are some reverse-engineered values for them on the Hard Maths blog. I will link it in the description. And that's it. These weapons are interesting and serve as alternatives to other non-lethal weapons such as sonic stunners, but provide additional options. Personally, I have never seen them used, but I haven't actually allowed them before. In any case, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.